Okay, guys, hi. It's Miss Gregory here. I would like for you to have some tips on how to get into the Canvas and the My Learning modules and use them to the best of your ability for when you take quizzes. So, first, go to the My Pasco Connect. You need to go to the orange icon that says Office 365 and you need to click it. That will ensure that you get all of the authorized material, videos, everything links up correctly. Then you will go into your math. You can see that I'm on the grade 7 math page for Dr. John Long. You can see some of our recent announcements. I am already in the student mode. So you can see that here are some tips for week 3. For this week, the teacher availability hours and some tips for the actual lessons on week 3, which are angles, triangles, and a review of scale drawings. Okay, so you know over here you have a button called modules, which I'm going to click. You can always go back and review the welcome module and the introduction. And of course, you can always go back to specific how-tos on how to take a quiz. They're there for you. Week 1, we're done. Week 2, we did scale drawings. And so we are on week 3. If you want, you can close these up with this triangle or you can leave it down like it is. I'm going to go ahead and click. You see the link 502 angles and triangles. There's a mid-module check. The rocket icon here tells you this is a quiz worth 30 points. And then there's another lesson on circles. So far, all of this technically should be review from what we've done earlier in the school year so far. I want you to notice that when you get into the lesson, you have page numbers up here. This is 1 of 9. So you need to go through all 9 pages. You can go to a certain page. You can also click back and forth with these arrow buttons to go through the pages. You do not want to click on the previous next buttons at the bottom. We can also see how well and how much you've spent time on the lessons. As of right now, 13% of the lesson is done. So I've clicked around on this a little bit today, but I definitely have not done all of the assignments on here. Let's go ahead and scroll down. 502, angles and triangles. You need to read and look at everything that is on the page. We are talking about JJ and his sister Sadie, and they are setting up their new living room. They want to put a TV stand in one corner and build a shelf in another corner. In this lesson, you will learn how to analyze conditions and write equations to solve problems. This gives you an overview of the objectives for this lesson. At the end, you should be able to identify types of angles, and you can see the other sources here. I am going to go ahead. That is all that's on this page. So I'm going to go to page 2. You need to be looking for everything on here in case there is a link that you need to click or practice questions. So we've got triangles in action, and they are trying to figure out about moving the big TV screen and whether it is going to cover the window. So you would want to read all of this problem. All right. Now you see an example with a chart. I keep calling this the triangle chart. This triangle chart is telling you, based on the 3 sides that make up a triangle, if it will actually form a triangle, yes or no. There are quiz questions like this that many of you are missing because you are not paying attention to page 2 about triangle side lengths. Okay? So if you read and explore, they tell you about the rule. In a triangle, the sum of any 2 side lengths must be greater than the length of the third side. It says let's use the data from the table to show the rule in action. Use A, B, and C to represent the sides, A, B, and C. Look, some of you are skipping all of these. You need to click, and the arrow drops down and shows you more examples about the sides. And you're checking all three, sides A, B, and C. All three of these inequalities are true, so a triangle can be formed. You can also push play.
A plus B is greater than C because 2 plus 3 is...
I'm going to push pause. So you can have that read to you if you wish. You would need to look at example 2. Again, you can read it. You can push play. It'll be read to you. Here's example 3. Same thing. Have it read to you. And there's also an example 4. You need to look at and work through all of these examples before you move on to the next page. And so now we're back up here. And we're on page 3. And you have a practice page. Get ready to try your best. Your challenge is to solve 10 problems. The more you get right, the harder they get. What level will you end up on? Now, they do give you the version. Instead of doing this as interactive, you could show the text version. But why be boring? Do something a little more fun here. And if you can answer these questions and put your answer and go, you will go through them. And I'm not going to do that right now, but you could also see the text version of that. Now, assuming that I really did all of these, you could print or you could do interactive. Then, when I'm done, I would go on to page 4. Page 4. Some people are missing this quiz question as well. They are not considering how many total degrees make up triangles. So here is a chart. There's also a review of the types of angles. We worked on this before our break, but here's a good list of the types: obtuse, right, acute. Okay. And then we are right back to looking at some different degrees. And if all three of them together total 180, then we are saying, yes, we have a triangle. If they do not equal exactly 180 degrees, then no, it does not form a triangle. You can also see here that if you would like to have it read to you, push play. There is the rule. The sum of the angles is always exactly 180. And remember, we are not doing this because this is saying let's go to the quiz. We are not ready for the quiz. So I am back up here. Fun times. Page 5. Practice. Try your best. Again, another interactive. See if 30 plus 60 plus 90 would give you a triangle. We can say, yes, that is 180 degrees, and keep going. And if you'd rather see the text version, you can click, you can print. We're going to assume we have done all of these, even though I haven't. For the sake of time, you're going to go through these on your own, at your own pace. Then we have page 6, and you are reading about the triangular shape, and you can also have these rules read to you.
When the sum of 3 given angles is 180 degrees.
Again, some of you guys are missing the quiz questions about this rule. So you need to make sure to look at page 6, example for a quiz question. Number 7 is a review of the types of angles and that a straight line or a straight angle equals 180 degrees. That's going to be important. Also a review of vertical angles, supplementary angles, complementary angles, adjacent angles. We covered all of these before the break. We even talked about if you're sitting at your desk, the adjacent angle to you is your shoulder partner because you share a side with them. Okay, we've done everything on that page. It's vocabulary. So to page 8 we go. And again, solving problems with angles. You are trying to write an equation and solve for the missing angle. So again, notice you need to click here, read the example. Some of you are missing these types of questions because you aren't writing the equation and solving for x. Well, there's another example you should go through. And since this is math class, maybe you need a piece of paper and you need to write these examples down. Especially when you go to do the practice. Practice 1. There are questions like this on the quiz. Practice 2 and practice 3. And for all of these, you should be able to check your answer. If you're not doing these, you're missing out on test practice. Then we need to go to our last page. I could always go to the last page here. Last page says assignment. You did it. You've reached the end of the lesson. There's no assessment for this lesson. You'll have an opportunity to show what you know with the mid-module check. Okay, no problem. Lesson objective. Do I actually know these 3 learning targets? Vocabulary. Here we go. This is important vocabulary. I need to know. I need to review and study before I take the quiz. Again, summary of the triangles. And if you would like, there is a lesson review guide that you can print. It is the same guide that you just looked at. You can download it and or print it, or you can just write down some of the helpful information. Okay? Now we're done with the lesson. We can click the next button. If you are ready, then you are going to move. There's actually nothing there, so that's why we're skipping. You are going to take the quiz again. Actually, you're going to take it for the first time unless you've already taken it. Please wait each time for our feedback. We need to grade some of these manually, and we need to give comments on your errors before you take the quiz the second time or the third time. Okay? So we're going to go back over here. And you've got announcements, you've got discussions where you can make posts, you can look at your grades, you have smart thinking tutorials, sometimes there's extra help videos. Alright, so we are going back to the modules and signing out, but hopefully this gave you some help on how to do these. Thank you.